go make yourself happy.
Seek to be happier.
Receiving love and happiness.
Want success? Model the best. So today, let's learn one of the most common rules that successful people follow: chase happiness.
Also, my goal in the book is really for people to be happy and more fulfilled, because you can have a ton of money and still be miserable.
Right.
You know, so it's really like mastering the science of achievement, but also the art of fulfillment. It's about, if you're totally successful but you're not fulfilled, then what do you have? You have nothing. You know, you made everybody happy but yourself. You know, that's the worst thing you got. That's Robin Williams is a beautiful man. Such a beautiful man. Killed himself, right? And he achieved everything most people ever dream of. Had a beautiful family. You've made the whole world laugh. Hundreds of million people love him, but he didn't figure out how to end the suffering. Money won't do that.
Let me tell you one thing about teaching or anything else that doesn't make you $1 million a year. The most upset, not happy people I know have the most money that I know. We need to start changing the conversation to happiness, not money. You can make $47,000 a year and have much more stuff than somebody makes $280. It depends on how much you spend. You might not be in a position to buy every new Off-White on a teacher's salary, but the question is, do you need that? The reality is most people need it just to flex in front of somebody because they're insecure. Once you don't give a fuck about anybody's opinion, you don't need shit. You ain't gonna buy anything. You need nothing. That's straight up, man. Young guys buy shit because they're insecure. They want to look cool in front of their friends. They want to get a girl. It's not super complicated. It's the least complicated shit of all time.
So me and Jada was reflecting about love. And I asked her, I said, what did she think was, one of the biggest revelations that she had about love? She said that you cannot make a person happy. And I thought that was a real deep idea. You can make a person smile, you can make a person feel good, you can make a person laugh, but whether or not a person is happy is deeply and totally and utterly out of your control. I remember the day I retired. I literally said to Jada, that's it. I retire. I retire from trying to make you happy. I need you to go make yourself happy and just prove to me that it's even possible. And after we cracked the hell up, we started talking about, we came into this false romantic concept that somehow when we got married that we would become one. And what we realized is that we were two completely separate people on two completely separate individual journeys, and that we were choosing to walk our separate journeys together. But her happiness was her responsibility, and my happiness was my responsibility. And we decided that we were going to find our individual internal, private, separate joy. And then we were going to present ourselves to the relationship and to each other already happy, not coming to each other begging with our empty cups out, demanding that she fill my cup and demanding that she meet my needs. It's unfair, and it's kind of unrealistic and can be destructive to place the responsibility for your happiness on anybody other than yourself.
Happiness has a surprisingly bad reputation, and a lot of people feel very uncomfortable with the idea that they would seek to be happier. Sometimes this is because they feel that in a world so full of suffering, it's not morally appropriate to seek to be happier. Or they feel like, well, a happy person is just complacent, sits around thinking about their own satisfaction all the time. But in fact, research shows that happy people are more interested in the problems of the world. Happier people are more altruistic. They give away more money, they volunteer more time, they're more likely to help out if a family member or a friend needs a hand. When we're unhappy, it's very easy to become defensive, isolated and preoccupied with our own problems. But when we're happy, we have the emotional wherewithal to turn outward and to think about other people and the problems of the world.
Also, if you want to learn how to have more confidence, check out my 254 Confidence Program. It's free. The link is in the description below.
The fact that human beings, our strongest drive is the need to stay consistent with how we define ourselves.
The reason people aren't patient is they value other people's opinions too much.
I was excited about taking a shot. The fact that it was so strange.
I think this is a really important message. I don't think entrepreneurs focus on happiness enough. And I think when I am most creative, when I'm in the zone the most, when I'm working on things that have the biggest returns, it's when I'm happiest. I thrive when I'm happy. I do my best work when I'm happy. And so I think it's important to try to be there as much as possible. Now, the next question, which becomes harder, is, well, how do you stay happy? How do you get happy and how do you stay there? And we've done entire videos just on that. But I think the answer ultimately comes down to self-acceptance. I think the more that you love yourself and accept yourself for who you are, and not just accept it to be like, yeah, well, that's all I'm ever gonna be, but like, love yourself. I love these things about myself. This thing that everybody thinks I'm crazy about, like, he's crazy because he does that. I love that about myself. When you love yourself, then what happens is you stop doing things because of other people. You stop chasing something because you want to look good for somebody else, because you want to just beat that person, because you want to please somebody else. The less you care about other people's opinions and judgments and expectations, the less you care about that stuff, and the more you focus on yourself and what makes you come alive and what you want to do, and be willing to shield yourself. It doesn't have to be in an arrogant way. Like, you don't have to put somebody down when they have an expectations of you, right? When they think you should be doing that and you say, well, who are you to tell me that, right? You don't have to put them down, but it also doesn't have to impact you. You know, I love that you guys all have different opinions on what I should do, on what I should wear, on where I should go, on what my goal should be. I love that it always, for the most part, comes from a place of love. It's like what you would do if you were in my position. But at the same time, I'm not doing this because you guys want me to. I'm doing the thing that I want to do that makes me happy. And when you love yourself, when you accept yourself and love yourself, then it makes you happier. At least that makes me happier. And so I'd strongly encourage you to examine the work that you're doing. Why are you taking on this project or going down that path? Who are you doing it for? Are you doing it just for somebody else? Are you doing it because you don't want to look bad in front of somebody else? Are you doing it because you're just trying to, boost your ego up, or to have a great picture that you can post on Facebook or Instagram? Are you doing it because your parents want you to do it, or because you're just trying to beat somebody else? Or are you doing it because you have the fire to do it? You're doing it because you need to express yourself and you gotta let this thing come out. I'd strongly encourage you to examine the reasons why you're doing the work. And if too many of your projects are outward focused instead of, I love doing this, then you're not really gonna be happy, and you're not really gonna create something amazing. So flip the switch, make for yourself, and be happy.
Here is the reality about money. So the reason that people chase it, even though I know you've heard 1,000 times, and it is absolutely true, money can't buy happiness. That if you're chasing money, the odds of you ending up with some level of dissatisfaction is incredibly high. But the reason that people ignore that, and the reason that they keep chasing it, and the reason that I myself live the cliche of money can't buy happiness, is because money actually does have power. Now, the thing that money lets you do, the thing that gives it that power, the reason that people will chase forever and ever and ever, is it is the great facilitator. Now, being the great facilitator does not mean that it gives you the thing that you secretly want in your life. So here's the punchline about happiness. The goal of all of this, the goal of this game of life that we're all playing, it is not money, it is not success, it is entirely brain chemistry. It's entirely how you feel about yourself when you're by yourself. It's about being deeply fulfilled. It's about being proud of who you are. Now, those are all, for me, synonyms. It's the same thing, which I'm just going to shorthand to fulfillment. The thing you're chasing is fulfillment. It's the only thing that doesn't sway with the wind. So happiness, in its typical definition, is very transient. So I want to shift people over to thinking about fulfillment. Fulfillment is often born of suffering. It's born of not doing something you want to do. It's born of doing the hard things. Being proud of yourself comes from that. Being proud of yourself comes from working your ass off to acquire a set of skills that, by the way, in and of themselves, in acquiring it, you found that pleasurable. It's something that you're interested in. You've hopefully crafted, developed, built a deep passion around. And in acquiring those skills, in service of that thing that you love and enjoy, you're able to serve other people. That's it. That's the truth of happiness. That's the truth of the thing that is going to give you that sense of fulfillment, that's going to allow you to enjoy your life. Money is never, ever, ever in and of itself going to do that. Money buys cool shit. Money is able to give you those temporary dopamine rushes of going and shopping for something and getting it, and then it's cool, but then that coolness factor wears off very rapidly. The flip side of that, using that money to build something that you believe in, that not only empowers you, but helps empower other people, that will help you develop long-lasting fulfillment. So that's the real thing. But if you're doing something that isn't making you a lot of money, but you're passionate about it, you enjoy the day to day, and it's allowing you to build skills that serve you and other people, I promise you, if you had to choose between the two, which by the way you don't, but if you had to choose between the two, always and forever, every single time, choose fulfillment.
I wanted to change my life. I didn't like the way I was living my life. I wanted a different, I just wanted a better way of life. You know, I just didn't want to be the guy that had it all outside but had nothing inside. And I realized all this recovery and sober thing and life in general is an inside job. You know, if you're looking for happiness from out here, it's going to be disastrous. It's going to be, from my perspective. Maybe other people can get it, and I'm different. I'm a little screwed up because I know something's wrong up there. I have real difficult situation receiving love and happiness from the outside and stuff. But it's all an inside job. You know, it's all an inside job.
What is being satisfied? Like, we're all going to be dead.
Yeah.
There's no, like, come on. Like, life is this, like, fleeting, stupid thing. Like, some people get more time than others, but, like, it's not, there is no, like, you know, no level of success is going to take you anywhere that the richest person in the end gets the same exact thing as the poorest person. So who gives a shit? What makes you really happy? And I've tried relaxing. I've tried sitting on the beach. I've tried like chilling out.
Doesn't work.
I've tried staying in fancy hotels and ordering room service. That shit just makes me bored and miserable.
Yeah.
I hate vacation. I hate relaxation.
Yeah.
Work is the only thing that really, really keeps me motivated and keeps me happy in the morning. I'm a better like father. I'm a better husband.
Great point.
When I'm working than when I'm not.
The biggest illusion I've learned in my life is when something happens, I'll be happy. So many people are in a position right now, almost everyone here can think, when I get that one thing, when I get that raise, when I get that promotion, when I get that person to like me, when I get out of this relationship, when I stop this addiction, I'll be happy. Whatever it is, I'll be happy then. And I understand it, but it's not when something happens, I'll be happy for me anymore. It's when I'm happy, things will happen. And it's not when I'm happy like Ned Flanders' smile. It's like when I'm okay with all of myself, when I'm okay with my anger, when I'm okay with my sadness. And by the way, the only way out of that pain is through. So when that pain comes up, you gotta feel it. It's been waiting to be felt, and there's a little 5-year-old you that just wants to be accepted by the you now and say, I hear you. I know that love you didn't get from your parent. Well, I love you. And let that thing feel and let it cry. Crying is a good thing. So many people think, I'm just gonna cry so that eventually I'll be happy. But you're implying happy is better than crying. And crying actually does feel good when you face it. Crying doesn't feel good when you resist it. The pain only doesn't feel good when you resist the pain. It feels amazing when you look it in the eye.
It's amazing how money can be known by so many different ways. In a temple, church, or charity, it's called a donation. In a school, it's called a fee. In a marriage, dowry. And in a divorce, alimony. When you owe money to someone, it's called a debt. When you pay it to the government, it's called a tax. In a court, it's a fine. When you receive it regularly after retirement, it's called a pension. When an employer gives it to a worker, it's called a salary. When a master gives it to a servant, it's called a wage. When children receive it, it's an allowance. And when you borrow it from a bank, it's called a loan. When you offer it after a good service, it's called a tip. When paid to a kidnapper, it's called a ransom. When illegally received in the name of a service, it's called a bribe. And when used to share and to serve others, it's called happiness. There's nothing wrong in possessing money. The problem is when money possesses you. Earn more money, fulfill your needs, utilize your money to share and serve others, and transform the value of your money from currency to happiness.
Now I've got a special bonus clip from Jay Shetty on how to find happiness that I think you're gonna enjoy. But before that, it's time for the 3-point landing question. It's time to go from just watching a video to taking action. Here we go. Question number 1. What does happiness look like for you? Number 2, how will you take responsibility for your own happiness? And number 3, how can you transform currency to happiness?
We need to define what success means for us. We need to redefine what success means. Let's not make happiness and success about the size of our homes, but about the size of our heart. Let's not make it about gratification, but gratitude. We speak about being healthy and our well-being, but we act more like human doings than we do like human beings. And therefore, instead of to-do lists, we need to-be lists. Instead of thinking about what you want to do, think about who you want to be. Do you want to be more self-aware? Do you want to be more conscious? Do you want to be a better person? Do you want to be a difference in the world? We need to move away from what we want to do in situations to who we want to be in situations. The 3 most common things that we forget when we're rushing out of our homes is our keys, our wallet, or our mobile phone. And it's absolutely hilarious how you run back inside, you look in all your drawers, you look in your desk, you make a mess sometimes, and then how many times have you had it that you realize it was actually in your back pocket, sometimes even in your hand? And it's funny that our experience of happiness is so similar to this. We run around trying to find it in absolutely every place, but actually when we come back home, we find out that it's within.
If you want to learn how to beat stress, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
3 people that when you hang out with them, you feel energized.
I even did this when I was overseas, when I was on deployment, when I was a combat leader.